So currently, I'm jumping ahead here. If you're following my series, I'm currently sitting in Colorado in some town, Montrose, something or other. I've been traveling across the United States filming adventure hiking videos, and it's been a tiring journey, and there's quite a few videos you guys have to get to this point. Here I'm actually uploading this one ahead of everything else just to jump in the queue. I've gone through most of Utah, nearly died in Bryce Canyon. There's a long story to that, and I'll have a whole other video on that. Basically, I thought I had food poisoning and ended up getting COVID, and barely was able to get out of the bottom of the canyon. The hotel there didn't want to help me. And then I ended up having to deal with, I'm pretty sure it was Omicron in my car for like a week and a half. I smashed the front of my lens filter on my camera. My drone, when it was in Salt Lake, got salt in the camera, so now it gets stuck and jitters, and I've been trying to, the more I use it, the more it works it out, but it's just been a real pain. And I nearly got lost in a Slick Rock Canyon in Arches National Park while it was getting dark, and had to do the crux in the dark. I don't recommend that. This is not the kind of crap you want to be doing in the dark. But I just want to give you guys a bit of a backstory of my mental state going into this. So I've been dealing with all these issues, and the main one of them is that I spend about 12 hours to make one of these hiking adventure films, and it ends up making me about 30 cents on YouTube. I get about 117 views for some reason. I mean, my viewership has dropped off about half. So I came out here to change my life, gain viewership. Instead, it's done the opposite. It's halved my viewership. And it is what it is. I'm not mad at any of the people from Vancouver Island who don't want to watch this stuff. It is what it is. I'll be back, in a month and a half making, bagging unknown peaks in Vancouver Island again. But so just the fact I'm burning $60 a day, I'm making 30 cents off of 12 hours of work. My videos aren't going out. YouTube doesn't share them. People don't care. There's no comments. Even my TikTok viewership has dropped off. Even my TikToks, they normally get 200 views, and they've changed the algorithm and stuff, but they're basically getting like 5 or 10, 15 views now. It's just like, when you try everything, you've got all the gear now, you know how to use it, you're putting it to use, you're working your butt off. Like, this is not a vacation. I've produced 27 videos in the last 40 something days, and I've shot that many, and then I've actually edited, uploaded like 10 of them. So it's just been a real exhausting state, and mentally I was not well yesterday morning just from this, because like it kind of all hit me. So I was recently, and you'll get a few sneak peek clips here, I did the Corona Arch in Arches National Park. That's actually just outside Arches National Park, which is great because I was able to use my drone. And I ran into another YouTuber, and she's super nice, super friendly. Her name is Wandering Jeepsy, like Wandering Gypsy, but Jeep, Jeep, because she does a lot of Jeep content. She's super nice, and she was telling me she's only been doing YouTube for 8 months. She's got 11,000 subscribers, and it just, like, I'm happy for her, and she's got all these Patreon followers and people supporting her and helping her buy her gear and all this kind of stuff. Like, she has the same drone as me and all that kind of stuff. But it's just, I've been doing this channel for 3 years. 2,000 subscribers. I've got a couple patrons, like they fit on one hand here. And I'm grateful for those 5 or 6 people that support me on Patreon, because it means a lot. But just the fact that it was so easy for her to get going, and I got nothing against her. She's a really nice person, but it kind of makes you feel like of less worth. It's like, why is my life worth less? And I had my head down, and I was working, and I was like, let's just keep grinding. And then once that happened, it just kind of like, and she was telling me about other YouTubers and all the sponsorships they get, and it's just, I've never had a sponsor, and I've been on YouTube for 7 years, and it just kind of, boils it down. You just look at your life. It's like, I'm worth 117 views and 30 cents, 0 sponsors, and no craps given, basically. But so I've been battling with this. I'm like, you just need to keep going, just keep working, keep pushing. And I was already not in a great mental headspace. And so yesterday I got in my car and I drove, or 2 nights ago I got out of Moab and I drove up to somewhere which, I was trying to get out of the desert and it was super hot up there too. And I got to this rest stop and there's cockroaches everywhere and I was like, okay, this is a life experience. So I drove an hour east into Colorado, and as I'm on the highway, there's this truck ahead of me and it's kind of swerving, and I was like, oh, is it windy? And it wasn't windy, because I know this because when I went through Colorado, I ended up watching this truck, and it's like a big semi truck with a huge trailer. And I have a few fears in life, and I've conquered most of them. Aside from public speaking, I'm still not good with flying. But I used to be really afraid of spiders and snakes and women and everything else that guys are afraid of. But yeah, so I still don't like driving near semi trucks. I don't trust them. They're big, and I got no problem with truckers. There's plenty of nice truckers. I've met lots of nice truckers. I just usually, when I get up to trucks and truckers, I just zing past them real quick because I don't want to be next to those. There's just a lot of weight there that tips over. You're going to get squashed like a bug. And so I'm driving and I see this guy and he's swerving, and I was like, well, it's not windy, as I mentioned. And I drove through the Columbia River Gorge and it was super windy, and I have a box on the top of my car and it was just pushing me around. I was fighting to hold on to the road, and I could see that it was happening to the truck drivers too. So I know what that's like, and you see them, they're swerving and they're fighting it, and I was doing the same thing. But yesterday it was not windy, it was calm. And I was starting to think, like, I don't think this guy he's all there. Either he's asleep or he's falling asleep or he's drunk. But I did the wrong thing, which I didn't realize at the time, and I just tried to get past him real quick. He was swerving in and out, and eventually he got in his lane and he was holding it for about 10 seconds. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to go. And I revved up, and at this point we're going, the speed limit I think is 80 miles an hour, which is 130 kilometers an hour. It's fast. I start passing him and I'm revving up over that. I'm not going over that if the government of the US, whoever, I'm trying to pass him quick, and then he just starts swerving hard right into me, and like, he's not stopping and he's not like going just over the lane. He went into my lane, like took the entire lane. How does that factor when I'm there? Well, I'm basically driving 160 kilometers an hour, about 100 miles an hour. I floored it. My car here, which I haven't named my car, but I'm going to name it right now. I'm going to call it Carbuncle. For all you Final Fantasy fans out there, Carbuncle is a summon, and it's not the flashiest thing out there, but it got the job done. So that's my car. It's not flashy. It gets the job done though. So Carbuncle finally got to experience what it's like to have the revs go up into the red, 6, 7, 8,000 whatever rotations per minute, while driving on half pavement, half gravel at 160 kilometers an hour, or 100 miles an hour. I did not go over the speed limit. US police. This is just a story. But yeah, so I had to floor it. And I think he fell asleep. I think he was like dozing off and just totally dozed off and he completely took my lane. I looked over and I saw a giant semi truck just pushing me off the road, and I'm just like, as I was driving on gravel at 160. I'm like, come on. And it was just like, is inches. I'm still shocked the back of my car isn't like hit by his. Like, it was, I'm looking back, I'm like, oh. And what's kind of stupid is I'll put any footage in if I have it. I have dash cams on both the front and the back. And I drove for an hour afterwards. Not immediately, I had to pull over and chill out, but afterwards I did drive for an hour, so I don't know if I overrid that footage. So I don't know if I have footage of it. I do have footage of the truck a little bit. It's probably garbage. Maybe it doesn't even show anything. I haven't looked at it yet, but basically once I floored it, it was and then I got far enough ahead where I could get back on the road. Then my vehicle got more traction. And then I looked, behind me, and he's right behind me, and then I see this woof, 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 and he's just swerving like crazy. So I think he dozed off. He hit the rumble strips or the gravel. He woke up, cranked hard to the right. He's like, oh, I didn't know where he was. He didn't know which lane he was in. And I'm just looking in my mirror, and he's swerving back and forth between two lanes like a snake. It's like a snake in the desert looking for some water. And he eventually pulled back into the right lane, and I could see there was a SUV behind him wanting to pass, and that guy like backed off. He's like, whoa, drunk driver. From there, I got in front of him, and I just maintained an exact kind of distance. If he tried to speed up, I sped up. There's no way he was getting near me again, but I turned on a camera. I hooked it up to the front here, pointed it back out my back window, and I haven't looked at that footage yet, but I'll put it in there. It probably doesn't show anything. I'm guessing it's just probably blown out, though it's too bright on the back, but maybe it does show him. But either way, it didn't show, when I filmed him, it didn't show him, snaking. After he almost squashed me and tossed me off the road at 160 kilometers an hour, he clearly woke up, moved back into the other lane, and he was driving perfectly straight after that. And I just kept it running for a long time, and he was driving straight, so I'm pretty sure he woke up. He's like, oh crap, what just happened? And then he was awake from then on, who knows how long, another 5-10 minutes, I don't know. But after I recorded for a few minutes, and after that I'm like, I just want to get out of here. I sped up and I got away from him. But it's kind of rough because I was already in a really bad mental state, and then just seeing a massive semi-truck, it's a fully loaded with the big box and all that, like this big looming thing, and I was just looked over, I'm like, what the f are you doing? And then I realized, like, oh, he's out cold or whatever. It's rough. So I don't want this video just to be me blubbering about how life sucks or what's hard in life, but so let's have some takeaways here, because I got hit from behind a few months ago, and I was pretty scared to drive after that. So if you're road tripping or van lifing, you have the same sort of thing happen. First thing you need to do is what I did today, is you got to get up, get in your car, and go drive somewhere. Go drive to Walmart and buy some garden vegetable soup, whatever. It doesn't matter, but you can't be afraid of it. You have to go conquer it right away, otherwise that demon grows and festers and gets bigger and bigger, and then, if you let it grow too much, you'll never get back in your car. I don't have that option because obviously I'm living in my car and it's hotter than spicy mustard out here. So yeah, for me, and as well for you, if you have this issue, hopefully not the stuff with YouTube where you spend 12 hours making videos no one watches, but I have to break this apart into two pieces of massive failure making content and nearly getting squashed by semi-truck, and these need to be processed in two different situations, because right now they're kind of meshed, and it's like my mind is just messed right now. So for me, I need to be like, okay, I need to get back on the horse and produce content, and people don't like it, just keep going. Eventually I'll find my audience. I was surprised how many people I've met on the trail who are like, oh, what are you filming, what are you doing, and then they all like subscribe to me right away, and they're like, so there's people who want to watch, it just doesn't get out to the people who want to watch. So I need to get uploading more videos. And then this one, it's just time, I think. You see semi-trucks, maybe back away from them. If like I said, if I see it happen again, if I see guys swerving, I'm just gonna pull off. I'll let him just go 10 minutes up the road so I don't have to deal with that. Not my typical upload, but sometimes I feel like you just need to share some life experiences of, what really happens on the road. It's, nearly dying of COVID, having to deal with that crap in my car, and I still have to do all that whole video. I don't really have a great relationship with Bryce Canyon, but it is a beautiful place. And so is this place right now. I'm actually sitting at a Native American history museum, and so there's a bunch of teepees and cool stuff here. So anyways, I'm going to turn my AC back on because it has decided to work today, which is great because it's probably 35 degrees or whatever, 93 Fahrenheit, something like that. So it's always a pleasure when my AC works. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.